Hello friends, this is Saurabh here, back again at Progressive Coder. If you have used class components in React, you must have definitely come across lifecycle methods, component did mount, component did update, and so on. But now with the advent of React hooks and more and more use of functional components gaining traction, have you wondered how you will be able to handle these lifecycle situations in the functional components? Well, the answer to that is UseEffect. UseEffect is a new React hook that was introduced as part of the overall React hooks implementation in version 16.0.8. It basically allows you to handle all such lifecycle events such as fetching data from an API, subscribing to an external event, or changing the DOM elements. In this post, we will look at lifecycle methods that were used earlier and how the same thing could be implemented using the UseEffect React hook. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, I will definitely recommend you to please press the subscribe button and also do press the bell icon so that you get notified as soon as I upload a new video. So without wasting more time, let's start looking at the UseEffect React hook. Alright, so what is React UseEffect? Basically, it is part of the React hooks package, and the official definition says that the effect hook can help us perform side effects in a functional component. Now you might wonder, what is a side effect? So side effects in a functional component or any component are some of the operations such as fetching some data through an API call, subscribing to an event, or changing some DOM elements. If you have been using class components, all of these side effects were being done in the component lifecycle methods. But with the effect hook, you can do all of these things in a functional component as well. However, before jumping directly into using the UseEffect hook in a functional component, let's first see how we handle side effects in a class component. So I have this app component and I'll just delete it and change it to a class component. So class app extends React component, and then I will have a constructor where I will call the super constructor and then have a state variable with basically one field, that is counter, and we will start with the value as 0. Next, class components should have a render method, so I will implement one. This will have a division and we'll put some text over here. Your click counter is this dot state dot counter, like so, and then we'll put a button element over here, and on click we are going to call the set state function, and this function is going to update the current value, or basically increment the current value of the counter by 1. So this is our render method, and then we will have a component did mount lifecycle method, which is going to update the title for the document. We'll use template string. You clicked how many times. So basically we are trying to show how many times we have clicked this button. And we will have the same thing in the component did update lifecycle method as well. So this is basically it, and we are going to start our application. Once our application has started, I'll rather use and yes, we can see your click counter is 0 and you clicked 0 times in the document.title of our DOM element. And if I click now, you can see that our counter is being updated in both the places. And here basically we had to repeat the same logic of updating the document at title. This is a side effect here. We had to write the same logic in 2 places. One is when the component mounts for the first time, and second when component state updates. So each time the status or the counter value is updated, we have to React will basically call this particular lifecycle method and the counter will be updated. So in the class components, we had to handle side effects in both the places based on the requirement. Now we will see the same thing being done in functional components using the effect hook. So let's delete this class component, and first thing that we have to do over here is we have to import the hooks, and we will have to use both UseState as well as UseEffect. And if you want to know more about UseState, I have a video that will appear on the top right corner. You can refer to that. Next is that we can start writing our functional component, function app, and we will basically be having one state variable, that is counter, and the function to update that variable, and our initial state or the initial value of the counter is 0. Next, our functional component should basically return some JSX. So we will have the same piece of HTML. You clicked counter times, and if you notice, this time we don't have to write anything like this dot state dot counter and so on. Next we have a button, click, and on click we are going to call the setCounter method, which is going to increment our counter variable. Now the last thing to do is to write the actual effect hook, and this is how you do it. So use effect, and this is going to call an arrow function. It will have a callback, and in that callback we basically update our document.title. So you clicked counter times, and that's it. So if we save it now, and our compilation has finished successfully, we can now go to our browser, and here we can start clicking stuff, and as you can see, the updates are happening correctly. So you click 1 time, 2 times, both in the HTML element as well as on the document title. On both the places, our update is happening fine. So basically, the side effect of updating the document.title is happening for both the cases when our component is first mounted and when our component state is updated. And all of that can happen with just one statement rather than how we saw it in class components, where we had to do the same thing in component did mount as well as in component did update. So basically, the effect hook makes developers' life easy in this regard. So this is all we had to demo today. If you like this video, I will definitely request you to subscribe to my channel. And also don't forget to press the bell icon so that you get notified as and when I upload a new video. Till then, have a nice day everyone. Goodbye.